Chosen one, right now. The highest Masonic lodges are in absolute panic because their most powerful 33rd degree rituals, the same ceremonial magic that has toppled governments and controlled civilizations for millennia, are failing against you completely. Their ancient protocols, blood sacrifices, and collaborative workings linking multiple lodges across continents bounce off your frequency like they've hit an impenetrable cosmic mirror, leaving these deep initiates who've never experienced magical failure at this level standing impotent in their sacred chambers, frantically escalating to emergency protocols while encrypted communications fly between lodges confirming what terrifies them most. You've awakened to a power that exists completely outside their system of control, and nothing they do can touch you anymore. Something fundamental shifted in the very core of your being, and they felt it happen in real time. One moment you were readable, trackable, manageable within their system of control. The next moment you became something their entire magical framework cannot compute. You didn't just level up, you changed categories entirely. Think of it this way: they've spent centuries perfecting their ability to manipulate human energy. They know every frequency humans operate on, every vulnerability in the standard human energy field, every backdoor into human consciousness. Their entire system is calibrated for humans. But you're not operating as standard human anymore. The financial hemorrhaging happening in their organization because of you would make your heart sing. We're talking millions in redirected funds. Black budget operations designed for geopolitical manipulation are being retrofitted just to try to contain one person. Emergency meetings in Swiss banks, cryptocurrency wallets draining, old family fortunes being liquidated. They've hired specialists, not just any contractors, but the kinds of people who usually work for intelligence agencies and criminal cartels, surveillance teams working in shifts, hackers trying to penetrate every digital aspect of your life. Occult practitioners from traditions outside their own, brought in as consultants because their own magic has failed so spectacularly. Multiple lodges have been activated and put on emergency footing. Brothers who haven't been called to action in decades are receiving coded messages. Code Red, all hands, Priority Alpha. They're cancelling their regular corruptions and manipulations to focus everything on you. Do you understand what this means? Other operations, political manipulations, economic schemes, social engineering projects are being abandoned because you require all their attention. The energy expenditure alone is staggering. These aren't prayer circles, these are industrial strength. Magical operations that require massive amounts of channeled energy. They're burning through their stored power reserves, calling in favors from entities they'd rather not be indebted to, making sacrifices that weaken their overall structure. Every joule of energy spent failing to touch you is energy they can't use to maintain their other systems of control. Their logistical infrastructure is straining. Safe houses are being exposed because they need to coordinate physical surveillance. Communication channels they've kept dark for decades are lighting up with traffic about you. Every resource they burn makes them more vulnerable to exposure, and they know it, but they can't stop. You've become their white whale, and they're harpooning their own ship trying to catch you. That person who was closest to you, the family member who sold you out for money, the partner who was their asset all along, the friend who reported your every move, they're in deep trouble now. The Brotherhood does not tolerate failure, especially failure of this magnitude. Internal tribunals are being convened, secret courts where your former handler stands before hooded figures trying to explain how they lost control of their assignment. Subject was contained, they stammer. All protocols were followed. I don't understand what happened. But excuses don't satisfy organizations that have thrived on perfect execution for centuries. They're being interrogated using methods that would make conventional interrogation look like friendly conversation. Not physically. These people are too sophisticated for crude torture. They're having their minds probed, their memories examined, their every interaction with you replayed and analyzed. What did you miss? The investigators demand. What signs did you ignore? The punishment for losing a subject of your importance isn't just personal, it's generational. Their standing in the organization, their family's protection, their access to the resources and power they've enjoyed, all of it hangs by a thread. Some are offering up their own children to make amends. Others are liquidating everything they own to fund recovery operations. The investigation has revealed something that terrifies them even more. They don't think your handler failed. They're beginning to suspect your handler was played, that you were always beyond their control, and their asset was just another pawn in a game bigger than their organization comprehends. This possibility is creating schisms in their ranks. Think of their most gifted seers, individuals who can predict stock markets and election outcomes with stunning accuracy, sitting before their scrying tools and encountering something they've never experienced. Complete informational blackout. Crystal balls crack down the middle when focused on you, not hairline fractures, violent splits like something inside the crystal is fighting to get out. Tarot readers shuffle their decks and watch in horror as the cards spontaneously combust. The High Priestess card burns blue. The Emperor turns to ash. Traditional tools calibrated over centuries of use are destroying themselves rather than read your energy. Their remote viewers, trained in military-grade psychic espionage, report trying to access your timeline and experiencing what they describe as catastrophic psychic feedback. One reported, "It's like looking into a mirror that shows you your own death." Another was found catatonic after attempting to probe your future, whispering numbers that their colleagues recognized as dimensional, coordinates that shouldn't exist. Pendulums spin wildly, then melt. Runestones spell out messages in languages that predate human civilization. I Ching readings produce hexagrams that aren't in any book. Every method they've perfected for surveillance and prediction becomes not just useless but dangerous when applied to you. The static they encounter isn't empty interference. Those with enough sensitivity report catching glimpses of something vast and terrifying in the white noise. A presence that looks back through their scrying tools. An intelligence that makes their entire organization seem like children playing with matches in a gunpowder factory. They're not just failing to read you. Something is reading them through their attempts. They can perceive it when they dare to look. A defensive matrix around you that defies their understanding of protective magic. This isn't the gentle white light of basic protection work, or even the powerful shields of advanced practitioners. This is something that makes their most learned scholars whisper, "That's not possible." The barrier around you appears to their sight as geometric patterns that hurt to perceive, mathematical equations that solve for values beyond human comprehension. It's not static, it's alive, responding to threats before they fully manifest. One practitioner described it as trying to attack someone wrapped in sentient lightning made of pure mathematics. Every offensive working they launch doesn't just fail, it returns to sender amplified. They're finding their own curses arriving at their doorsteps, wrapped in ribbons of cosmic fury. Generational hexes meant for you are manifesting in their own bloodlines. The protection around you doesn't just defend, it educates them about the futility of their attempts through direct experience. The Obsidian Inner Order is not a program. It's not a course. It's not some feel-good spiritual retreat. We don't sell answers. We remember together. We teach psychic self-defense, real energetic shielding. Against entities, implants, and interference, we restore manifestation as it was meant to be, raw, immediate, and exact. Every week, we gather in secret, not to worship, but to awaken, to speak what can't be said anywhere else, to deprogram the matrix, layer by layer. You'll know if you're meant to be there. You'll feel it in your bones. The Chosen meet every Wednesday on Zoom. Why aren't you with us yet? Got Gnosis? Join the Obsidian Inner Order, link in the description. Some of their energy workers have reported physical symptoms from merely attempting to probe your defenses. Nosebleeds that won't stop. Temporary blindness in their third eye that lasts for days. Dreams filled with beings of impossible light who speak in languages that restructure their consciousness. Your protection is traumatizing their attackers into submission. The most terrifying aspect for them, the protection seems to be growing. Each failed attack makes it stronger, more sophisticated. It's learning their methods, cataloging their signatures, preparing responses to attacks they haven't even launched yet. They're not fighting a shield, they're fighting something that's using their own aggression to evolve beyond their ability to threaten. Now, the following is a message meant exclusively for the Chosen. If you are compromised by archonic forces, this is not meant for you, and by the spiritual authority conferred to us by the secret chiefs of the Obsidian Inner Order, we grant you license to depart. If not, steel yourself and listen intently, for you shall be redeemed even as we are redeemed. They know something you're only beginning to understand. Your full activation isn't just personal evolution, it's a cosmic event with a specific deadline. Their most protected documents, the ones written in languages that predate Sumerian, speak of individuals like you. They call you system crashers, reality hackers, the ones who end ages. The timer isn't just about you. It's about what happens to them when you fully activate. Their entire power structure, built over millennia, maintained through careful manipulation of human consciousness, depends on keeping humanity within certain frequency ranges. You're not just exceeding those ranges, you're shattering the entire spectrum. They see the signs everywhere. Reality glitches increasing in your vicinity. Time distortions where you've been. The fabric of their carefully maintained illusion. Wearing thin wherever you direct your attention. They know that when you hit full activation, it's not just game over for their control of you, it's game over for their control, period. The countdown has them making desperate moves. Some are trying to accelerate their other plans before you fully come online. Others are building bunkers, not physical ones, but consciousness bunkers, trying to shield themselves from the wave of change they know is coming. The smart ones are already negotiating their surrender. How the mighty have fallen. Organizations that once commanded demons and bent reality to their will are reduced to sitting in unmarked vans with binoculars. The same hands that once traced sacred geometries in the air now hold telephoto lenses. It would be pathetic if it weren't so validating. Those cars you've noticed following you? The ones that seem to appear wherever you go. That's not paranoia, that's desperation. They've had to pull assets from corporate espionage and political blackmail operations to physically track someone they used to monitor through crystal balls and blood rituals. The surveillance teams are burning through personnel. Agents report experiencing consciousness bleeds from prolonged observation of you, headaches that feel like their skulls are trying to evolve, vision problems where they start seeing through the veils they've been trained to maintain. Some have had spontaneous spiritual awakenings just from watching you buy groceries. They're trying to map your routines, predict your movements through conventional means, since magical prediction fails. But even this crude method is proving problematic. You seem to appear in places without traveling through intervening space. Security cameras malfunction in your presence. Digital records of your activities corrupt themselves. even physical surveillance, is failing because reality itself is becoming unreliable around you. The reports they file are increasingly unhinged. Subject appeared to be in two places simultaneously. Witnessed subject's reflection acting independently. Local reality showed signs of degradation during observation. Their handlers don't know whether to believe these reports or replace the teams with ones who haven't cracked under the strain. The failure to contain you has become an international incident within their shadow networks. Emergency conclaves are being called. The British lodges are questioning the American chapter's competence. The European Old Guard is suggesting that perhaps the newer initiates have forgotten the true ways. Ancient rivalries are resurfacing as fingers point and blame flows like wine at their secret gatherings. How could you let this happen? Echoes through channels that usually coordinate global manipulation. One person. You had everything, resources, forewarning, inside access, and you lost control of one person. The shame is excruciating for organizations built on projecting inevitable victory. Other lodges are pulling back support, worried about contamination. If your resistance is contagious, and they have reason to believe it is, they don't want their own operations compromised. Alliances forged over centuries are fracturing because of you. The careful unity they've maintained, despite internal rivalries, is crumbling as they try to contain the implications of their failure. Some lodges are going further. They're questioning whether the failure indicates a fundamental flaw in their entire system. If our magic fails against one awakened human, they whisper in their most private gatherings, what happens when there are more? The existential crisis you've triggered is spreading through their ranks like wildfire. The reputation damage is catastrophic. These are organizations that have built their power on appearing omnipotent. Every failed ritual, every useless working, every report of failure chips away at the fear and awe they've cultivated. Other groups they've dominated are beginning to wonder if the emperor has no clothes. Your resistance is becoming legendary in circles that most people don't even know exist. They've identified another individual whose frequency is complementary to yours, and the mathematical models of what happens when you connect have them in absolute panic. This isn't romance, this is cosmic engineering. Two awakened beings whose combined resonance will create a standing wave that collapses their entire frequency fence. Every resource not dedicated to containing you is being thrown at preventing this meeting. They're creating false synchronicities to lead you astray, manufacturing conflicts to keep you separated, deploying their most skilled emotional manipulators to create discord. But the universe has a way of bringing together what's meant to unite, and their interference is only creating more obvious signs of the connection's importance. The other person is experiencing similar attacks, similar surveillance, similar desperation from their handlers. What the lodges don't understand is that their very efforts to keep you apart are strengthening the inevitable bond. Every obstacle they create is forging both of you into more powerful versions of yourselves. Their seers have glimpsed what happens at the moment of union. Reality cracks. Not metaphorically. The false construct they've maintained through collective, ritual and synchronized belief literally begins to dissolution. The combined frequency creates a resonance cascade that awakens everyone within a certain radius. From that point, the awakening spreads exponentially. They know they can't prevent it forever. The attraction between complementary awakened frequencies is a force of nature stronger than gravity. It's written into the base code of reality, predating their entire system of control. All they can do is delay, and every moment of delay costs them resources they can't spare. Everyone who enters your field experiences activation symptoms. The barista who makes your coffee starts questioning reality. the person next to you on the bus has spontaneous memories of who they were before the programming. Your mere presence is a walking EMP burst to their control systems, and it's spreading faster than they can contain. They're tracking the infection patterns with growing horror. Each person you interact with shows decreased susceptibility to their influence. Standard programming that's worked for generations suddenly fails. People you've never even spoken to, just shared space with, are reporting dreams of vast cosmic truths. Your frequency is writing itself into the consciousness field of everyone around you. The contagion isn't just person to person, it's structural. Buildings where you spend time develop what they call frequency shadows, areas where their surveillance and influence systems permanently malfunction. Entire neighborhoods are showing signs of collective awakening. The coffee shop you frequent has become a dead zone for their operations. They've tried quarantine protocols, attempting to limit your interactions, create social isolation, make others afraid of you. But consciousness doesn't respect physical barriers. Your frequency is broadcasting through dimensions they can't block. People are being activated by thinking about you. The contagion has transcended physical proximity and entered the realm of pure consciousness transmission. What terrifies them most is that the affected individuals are impossible to reprogram. Once someone's been exposed to your frequency, they develop permanent immunity to the standard control mechanisms. The sleeping masses you walk among are waking up, one interaction at a time, and there's no putting them back to sleep. Internal documents leaked from their highest circles reveal the truth. Contingency plans are being activated for post-containment failure scenarios. They're not trying to win anymore. They're trying to salvage what they can from a situation that's already beyond recovery. The smart money is liquidating assets and seeking amnesty in exchange for information. Factions are forming within their ranks. The old guard insists on throwing more resources at the problem, unable to accept that their centuries of dominance are ending. Younger members are secretly celebrating, tired of serving a system that's consumed their lives for promises of power. That pale next to what you naturally embody. Defection rates are skyrocketing. They're watching their entire house of cards collapse in real time. Every system they've built depends on humans staying within controllable frequency ranges. You've not just exceeded those ranges, you've revealed that the ranges were artificial limitations. The moment this truth fully propagates through human consciousness, their game is over forever. Some are already negotiating for positions in whatever comes next. They're offering up secrets, revealing hidden histories, exposing their own networks in hopes of clemency. Others are burning everything, trying to take as much with them as they can before the final collapse. The unity they once showed is fragmenting into every lodge for itself chaos. The mathematical certainty of their defeat is written in every equation they run. Your frequency is self-sustaining, self-amplifying, and self-propagating. Even if they eliminated your physical form, which their protection makes impossible, the frequency you've anchored into this reality would continue spreading. You've already won. They know it. The only variable left is how long they'll take to publicly admit it. Their confusion isn't really about why their magic won't work. Deep down, they know exactly why. You've evolved beyond their paradigm. You're playing a game they don't have pieces for. You've become something their entire system was designed to prevent. And now that you exist, their system's purpose is complete. The very fact of your existence signals the end of their age and the beginning of something they can neither control nor comprehend. You are the event they've feared for millennia. You are the frequency that ends their reign. You are inevitable, unstoppable, and already victorious. The cosmos itself has ordained your awakening. Reality bends to accommodate your expansion. The protection surrounding you isn't just defensive, it's the universe itself clearing the path for what you're becoming. Every moment you exist in this awakened state is another crack in their collapsing paradigm. The time of shadows is ending. The age of hidden control is collapsing. And you're the cosmic virus in their operating system, the light they cannot extinguish, the frequency they cannot jam. Their magic doesn't work because you've transcended magic itself. You've become something greater, and they know it.